What's up guys, it's here by Nino4Quad, and welcome back to another video of Call of Duty Modern Warfare 3 multiplayer. In today's video, I'm going to show you guys my top 10 best meta class setups. And especially since there's not going to be any weapon balancing until the end of the season, these are the absolute #1 fastest killing classes to help you guys get the most nukes possible, maybe even get your first nuke here within MW3. Let me know how many nukes you have currently, or if you get to get your first one, and if not, what is your highest kill so far within MW3. So without further ado, let me give you the fastest killing class setups. So starting things off, we got the SVA 545, which has the fastest time to kill of all ARs here in MW3 because of its hyperburst feature, where the first couple of shots shoot faster, so you really want to maximize that recoil control. So speaking of which, the muzzle here is going to be the Scratch 20L suppressor, keeping us off the minimap every time we shoot, and we get that extra firing aim stability. This is going to keep the gun even more extremely accurate, and all we lose here is a measly 1% in ADS speed, which is essentially nothing. This is a lot better than just having the regular Shadow Strike suppressor because of that firing aim stability, allowing you to keep your steady shot. Underbarrel here is going to be the DR6 hand stop. This helps us a ton in terms of sprint to fire speed and ADS speed, and it's going to improve that by 8 to 9%, giving us a faster time to kill by bringing up the gun faster. And we get overall more movement and aim walking speed to outstrafe the opponents, and thus have a better time to kill. So the DR6 hand stop and the Scratch 20L suppressor are some of my prime attachments that I rock on almost every gun when I want to. Next up, we got the stock, and the stock that I love on this SVA is going to be the main V6 stock for that recoil control and gun kick control, boosting this gun's accuracy by 8 to 21% in all directions, allowing this gun to just be even more accurate and more dangerous to my opponents, making them cry. Going over to the rear grip, we got the Demo 650 grip to not only give us even more gun kick control and recoil control, but also firing aim stability, really keeping the gun more steady, like with the muzzle we had before. And improves our accuracy by 7 to 10% in all directions. And then finally, for our magazine, I personally like the 45 round mag. Those 15 extra bullets go a long way, but if you wanted to, you could also do the 60 round mag. It's just you're going to be a lot more slower, and I think that speed is very necessary. So the 45 is that happy medium where you can still have that speed and the extra ammo to boot. And with this class setup in hand, the SVA is a menace on the battlefield. It looks great, for one, but it's also super accurate. Very easy to use. That hyperburst feature is going to be instrumental in making this gun completely overpowered. And before we move on to the rest of the guns here, I want to explain my general class setup that I run with every single gun in the game. So the secondary that I always use is the handgun of the Core 45, and it's with these attachments of the Sonic Suppressor XS, the Slate Reflector, the 40 round drum mag, and the tactical grip cover rear grip that I rock typically. When it comes to the trigger action, right now the XRK Lightning Fire trigger action is bugged where it kind of shows you a slower rate of fire, so once they fix that, switch back to this, but currently I'm using the XRK V21 Heavy Match for still a nice little boost to that rate of fire. It's legit one of my trusty pistols that I rock in every single build. And in terms of perks and field upgrades on that, our vest is the CCMT comms vest because it allows me to have 4 perks. It allows me to have a nice little UAV ping when walking over the opponents, which can help me when my teammates are idiotic and don't get UAVs, and basically allows me to carry my team in a sense. Field upgrade is going to be Medbox, and the reason why I rock this is because the default health regeneration in this game is 5 seconds. With the Medbox equipped, it's 3 seconds when you pop out the Medbox and use it for that rest of your life. So those extra 2 seconds, they mean a lot in Call of Duty terms, and even though you can use a stim shot, the whole animation itself takes like 2 seconds. So it's just not worth running with the Medbox. You don't gotta pop anything, and it's useful for any sort of health regeneration, whereas Quick Fix or whatever is only useful after you get a kill. Gloves here is going to be scavenger gloves, so I can continue using the guns that I'm using for videos. You can obviously change that if you want. Boots, I just like covert sneakers to sneak around the map a lot more effectively, but if you wanted to, you could also use the all-terrain boots or some of the other boots to help your movement or other capabilities. Mag holsters, what I like because I like to reload really quickly, and an EOD padding also helps me stay alive because grenades can be very annoying. You can change up the mag holster and put on Ghost TV camo if the enemies are using too many UAVs or anything else that you might find useful here. But this is typically what I use in every single build as my secondary and my perks. So now moving on forward, we got the FJX HORUS SMG, which is one of the most elite SMGs currently within MW3 MP. So starting things off, we actually got to start off with the barrel here, and that's going to be the Martis Heavy Barrel. One of the biggest downfalls of this FJX HORUS is its recoil control, and this barrel pretty much eliminates all that. It gives us recoil control, gun kick control, and firing aim stability, boosting every single attribute, in every direction by 12%, allowing us to just be steadily accurate and give us a faster time to kill. Going over to the muzzle now, we're going to go ahead and give ourselves the Shot Strike Suppressor S. Keeps off the map every time we shoot, and there's no downsides associated with it, so you're going to see me using the suppressor very often on almost all my SMGs. Underbarrel wise, I really like this other one known as the F-Tac SP10 Angled Grip. It helps out horizontal recoil control in specific and gives us extra aiming out of sway and aim walking steadiness. The vertical recoil control gets a little bit more hurt, but I think horizontal is a little bit harder to control than vertical, so because in the end, you're going to be a lot more accurate in the horizontal direction. And then going over to the stock here, I like the Lopper LXD stock. Helps our gun kick control, aiming out of sway, recoil control, and firing instability, making this gun even more deadly accurate so that we can get some farther range kills. If you value a little bit more movement though, you could use the Ripper Light stock for the aim walking speed, sprint to fire speed, and movement speed, and you know, other sort of movement capabilities, but I prefer control when it comes to multiplayer. And then lastly, for a magazine, we got the 60 round drum mag, which you can now have because of the conversion kit of the FJX HORUS. Obviously, you don't have to have it equipped now. We can just run it as an attachment. And this allows us to just have as much ammo as possible, but you could also use the 48 round mag if you want a little bit more speed. But I don't think there's too much difference between this and the 48 round drum mag. So yeah, the 60 round drum mag is nice on the FJX HORUS. The HORUS itself, I mean, just to look at it, it melts, it looks great. And as long as you're able to get your kills up to these points, you're pretty fine. But even then, with this build, you are able to get those farther range kills. It's just the recoil gets kind of crazy on this gun. So be smart with your gunfights and you'll body. Next up, we got one of my favorite ARs to rock in this entire game, and that's going to be the MTZ-556, which has a killer fire rate. Muzzle-wise, we're going to once again rock the Scratch 20L suppressor that I mentioned on the SVA 545 to stay out the minimap and give us that extra sort of stability. Underbarrel wise, we're going to switch it up and give ourselves the Kimura Seraphic Vertical Grip. This helps our vertical recoil control and our gun kick control, making this gun more accurate by 6 to 8%, giving us a faster time to kill with that better accuracy. But we also get the movement benefits of moving around the map a lot more efficiently and aim walking speed to straight left and right quickly and outplay our opponents. So very nice. Next up for the stock, I personally like the MTZ Marauder stock, which maximizes our gun kick control and recoil control even further. Helps us by 9 to 21% in all directions. And if you don't want to use this, you could also use the AXF Close Quarters Assault stock, which also helps you in a considerable amount. This depends on what downsides and upsides you want. I like the Marauder stock personally. When it comes to the rear grip, I personally prefer the Bruin TR-24 Assault Grip for firing instability, gun kick control, and recoil control, making this gun a laser beam, and you're not going to miss like too many bullets at that point. If you want a little bit more speed, you can rock the Rival Ace Grip for that sprint to fire speed and ADS speed to make this gun more snappy and be more of a speed demon, but I prefer that accuracy over everything else. And then lastly, for a magazine, you gotta rock the 50 round drum mag. This gun is gonna run out of ammo quickly. 30 rounds is never enough, and having 50 is definitely gonna make this gun way more viable. And with the MTZ-556, it legit is a beam of an assault rifle. It's so easy to control with this build. Like, I love its fire, I love its time to kill, and it's really, really fun to use. Shout out to Ghost, by the way. Next up, we got one of my favorite SMGs to use, especially on shipment, and that's going to be the WSV Swarm here. Starting off with the muzzle, we're going to use the good old Shot Strike Suppressor S, giving us hot to minimap every time we shoot, and no downsides are going to be associated. Underbarrel-wise, we're once again going to use the Kimura Seraphic Vertical Grip that we talked about on the MTZ-556, helping our vertical recoil control and movement speed. Stock-wise, this is the most key attachment. We're putting on that FSS Fortress Heavy stock. This gives us 14 to 28% in terms of recoil control, which this gun desperately needs because this has the most recoil out of like any SMG in the game. So by putting this on, you're going to be just more accurate overall, and this gun is going to be way more useful for you. Rear grip wise, we're going to put on the Marauder grip for that extra recoil control and gun kick control, boosting our attributes by 7 to 10% with hardly any downsides. So the rear grip is just a free recoil boost, which is nice. And in terms of magazine, I just go all the way with the 100 round drum mag, so that we have as much ammo as possible for multiple opponents. And I still feel like this gun moves pretty quickly, but if you want more movement, you could do the 40 round mag or the 50 round mag, but this gun, it runs out of ammo way too fast in my opinion, so having that 100 round drum mag really comes in clutch. And legit, I mean, just look at the movement of this weapon. It's still pretty nice for a nice little heavy SMG, and it hits. That's a super fast fire rate. It destroys the opponents. and it's actually pretty destructive. So rock that WSP Swarm, especially on that good old shipment. So next up, we got an AR that can pretty much be turned into an SMG through its conversion kit and becomes one of the fastest killing guns in the game, and that's going to be the good old AR of the BP50. So starting things off, like I said, we're going to go to the conversion kit and turn this gun into the Jack Revenger kit and turn the BP50 into a full-on SMG. Gives us a faster fire rate. It's going to do more damage because of the fire rate, even though we get a little damage decrease. But that fire rate just makes up for it. And we get a bunch of movement benefits as well, giving this gun a killer sort of time to kill, which I enjoy using this gun for. Next up for the muzzle, we have the ability to use the Scratch 20L suppressor to keep us off the minimap and give us a little bit more firing aim stability. Laser-wise, I like putting on the 1MW quickfire laser for that extra ADS speed. And there's no downsides, our laser doesn't show up at all, and we get a nice little 5% boost. If you wanted the most sprint to fire speed and ADS speed possible, you can put on the Kimura Rai L33 laser light for a boost of 13 to 19% in sprint to fire speed and ADS speed, which is pretty insane, but your flashlight and your laser are going to be visible when you're ADSing. And you just want a moderate increase in ADS speed and sprint to fire speed, but also aiming stability, the VLK LZR7MW helps by 7%. But once again, your laser is pretty bright when you ADS, so I don't want my laser showing up in any single way, so that's why I rock the 1MW quickfire laser. Ammunition wise, we're going to go ahead and put on the 9mm high grain rounds. Almost forgot about it for a second. But because we can't run a barrel, this is going to help us boost our damage range and bullet velocity by 15%, making this gun melt even faster, and thus giving us a faster time to kill and an edge against those other SMGs. And then rear grip wise, there's a couple of options here. I personally use the TRST for grip tape, giving us firing aim stability, recoil control, and gun kick control, boosting all the attributes by 7 to 10% with hardly any downside, so this kind of makes up for the recoil loss from the high grain rounds. Or you can get even more speed through the CCG tack tape, increasing your sprint to fire speed by 13%. So up to you, I prefer that extra accuracy though. And legit, the BP50 with the conversion kit, this gun's like a complete joke, bro. Like, I mean, not only does it look good and freaking great with this build, but has hardly any recoil. It just melts and has a really great time to kill, man. I love running with this thing and having fun with it. Next up, we got one of the best SMGs in the entire game in terms of movement, and that's going to be the SUPERI 46. And I love this SMG because it's very similar to the Hurricane from last year in MW2. Starting things off with the barrel here, we're actually going to put on the Atoll Z4 suppressed barrel, which is going to keep us off the map every time we shoot, but we also get recoil control, gun kick control, and firing aim stability, making this gun extremely accurate by 8 to 17%, basically just making kind of it more OP, which is kind of nice in my opinion. Laser-wise, we're going to go ahead and give ourselves the Shalaser PQ Box 4, which is pretty much the same laser that I gave the BP50, boosting our ADS speed by 4%, and our laser doesn't show up. And obviously there's the other alternatives if you want to use those. Underbarrel wise, I personally like the SL Skeletal Vertical Grip, giving us sprint to fire speed and ADS speed, bringing up the gun faster by 4 to 8%, giving us a faster time to kill, and we get vertical recoil control and gun kick control, making this gun accurate by 7 to 8% in the vertical direction, which this gun, in my opinion, kind of needs in those directions. And then rear grip wise, I personally like the Sakine ZX grip, maximizing our recoil control and gun kick control even further by 7% and giving us, once again, no downsides, which is always sweet to see. And then magazine-wise, I like the 40 round mag. There's really no other alternative. You want as much ammo as possible. Even 40 rounds doesn't feel like enough for this gun, but that's pretty much what you're stuck with here. And the SUPERI, it's got great movement. I love the feel of the gun, but I just feel like other SMGs kind of shine. But if you love movement, I mean, this is like the #1 movement gun. I just hate how it runs out of ammo really quickly. But if you want to move around, you have no problem doing that. It's a very clean looking, beautiful weapon. Next up, we got my most sweaty, most try-hard gun that I use when I play against some of the best players, and that's going to be the MCW. But it's not just a regular MCW here. We're actually going to be putting on the Jack Raven kit to turn this gun into a hybrid SMG AR. Gives us a faster rate of fire, giving us a faster time to kill, and we get some extra lower torso and headshot damage, so we hit head, we get a really fast time to kill, and we get some crazy movement benefits as well. I just love the way this Raven kit really benefits the MCW in this game. In terms of the muzzle, we're going to go ahead and put on the Scratch 20L suppressor once again, which we talked about repeatedly. Underbarrel wise, I really like the DR6 hand stop for all the movement benefits we've talked about before. Stock wise, some of you guys might like the Jack Cutthroat, but personally, I like the A90 Venom stock. helps our aim walking speed, movement speed, and sprint speed, and even more specifically, it gives us some extra recoil control, as you guys can see from the detailed stats. So it's up to you whether you really want to lean into the movement aspect, or you want to lean into some accuracy, and for me, accuracy is king. And when it comes to the magazine, we got to go ahead and put on that 40 round mag. You can't put anything higher, sadly. I would have loved to have like a 50 round mag, because the fire rate is really fast when you put on this conversion kit, but this will make 1v1s and 1v2s so much easier to kind of carry. And there you guys go. Like, legit, this MCW is dangerous. Like, when I rock with this gun, I make people extremely mad. I nuke almost anybody I see with this thing, and it legit has some of the best traces in the entire game as well. It just looks beautiful with this obsidian, so rock and roll with it. Next up, we got a nice little SMG here of the WSP9, which I think is extremely underrated. I don't think people really give it that credit. But when it comes to the class, the muzzle is going to be, once again, the Shell Strike Suppressor S for no downsides and just keeping us off the minimap. Underbarrels, once again, the DR6 handstop for all the movement benefits. Stock-wise, some of you guys might like the WSP Classics Factory stock, but I personally like the Duster Heavy stock. Something about keeping the gun more steady with the aiming out of sway and firing aim stability is a little bit better than recoil control. And besides, when it comes to recoil control, you can take care of that with the rear grip of the Marauder grip, giving us gun kick control, recoil control, and firing aim stability, boosting everything by 7 to 10% with very minimal downsides, which I love. And in terms of the magazine, we're going to go ahead and put on the 50 round mag. If you want more speed or a little bit more versatility, you can put on the 40 round mag or the 32 round mag, but I like going big with this SMG with the 50 round mag and really get my feeds. And when it comes to WSP9, it's a beauty to behold. I mean, it looks great with this one trick camo, of course, but has freaking decent fire rate, decent speeds, and it is a really fun SMG even to use at range. Just in all sorts of situations, this gun doesn't really let you down. And now I gotta put in some MW2 guns into the mix that I know you guys will enjoy, and the number one AR here is gonna be the M13B. Muzzle wise, we're gonna go ahead and put on the Scratch 20L suppressor for that firing aim stability and keeping us off the minimap every time we shoot. Underbarrel wise, we put on the SL Skeletal for that vertical recoil control, and as well as sprint to fire speed and ADS speed, giving us a faster time to kill. Optic wise, the iron sights aren't ugly on this gun, but the jack glasses gives us a really nice benefit of extra firing aim stability, and it's a clean sight in general, so it's going to help us regardless. Rear grip wise, I love the D36-7 grip, I should say. This is going to give us gun kick control and recoil control, boosting accuracy by 7% in all directions, really keeping this gun nice and steady, even though it's already accurate enough. In terms of the magazine, we got the 45 round mag, but you can put on the 60 round mag for a little bit more ammo, but like I said, it's just going to slow you down, and 45 is like the perfect amount of ammo in my opinion. And with this build right here, you're hardly going to be missing shots, you're going to be off the minimap, and you're going to be making people pretty mad. They're going to be like, what the heck is an MW2 gun just destroying here in MW3? And the M13B, it's that one sole exception of just being a god. And finally, for our 10th gun here, we got the SMG of the Vel 46, which was from MW2, and it's a beast here in MW3. Muzzle-wise, we once again have the Shell Strike Suppressor S, the typical SMG suppressor here. Underbarrel-wise, we're once again putting on the SL Skeletal vertical grip for the sprint to fire speed and vertical recoil control benefits. Stock-wise, we're going to give ourselves the Demo RXT stock, helping our movement speed, sprint speed, and ADS speed, so the gun is a little bit more snappy because the MW2 SMGs need some of that extra snappiness to it. Rear grip wise, we're going to go ahead and give it the ZLR combat grip for the extra recoil control and gun kick control, helping us in all directions by 7%, so the gun can be a little bit more extended at range. And then magazine wise, I like the 50 round mag. 60 rounds, you don't really need to go all the way, and you'll feel a little bit sluggish, but the 50 rounds, you don't even lose anything. You just basically lose reload quickness. That's like nothing. If you want to be a crackhead and just get a whole bunch of speed, you can rock the 30 round mag, or even no mag at all and just put on like a laser or ammunition or something. But the 50 round mag is like perfect on this gun. It's just the right amount of ammo for multiple opponents. And legit, when I run the Vel 46, it's a comfort SMG. It feels great. It rivals like the Rival 9, the Strikers, the WSP Swarms, the SUPERIs. You know, recoil control might be a little bit weird to you, but if you can get used to recoil, oh man, this thing truly is a hunter. But there you guys go. My top 10 SMGs and ARs within MW3 that are the fastest killings. You know, when it comes to my classes, I don't really change them much because nothing really changes in terms of like how I build them. They're just simply the best classes. But if you think another gun deserves to be here, I mean, the gun balance in this game I think is very elite. So anything that you say could probably be ending up here, but these guns just shred. Anyways, let me know which one of these you enjoy the most. And thank you guys for loving my videos. Hope you guys have been having a great weekend. And I need to go to sleep. I love you all.